May I come in, sir?
Please come.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, Rekha. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, Rekha, tell us briefly about yourself, your academic qualification, your work experience, and your main hobbies.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is REKHA MEENA. I belong to Alwar district, Rajasthan. I have done my schooling from 𝐂𝐍𝐵𝐵 Vidyalaya schools in Delhi. Thereafter, I have done my graduation in MBBS from Maulana Azad Medical College. From 2020, I am working as a medical officer in Alwar, Rajasthan. I like to make tribal wall art and I like to stitch clothes.
So, Rekha, you are from Alwar.
Yes, sir.
And Alwar falls in NCR region. Now, when the NCR was made, Alwar was very hopeful that it will emerge as one of the major satellite towns of Delhi, and there was a projection that development and the growth will be much more. But incidentally, Alwar has not developed the way it was envisaged. What do you think has been the reason?
Sir, a 20-kilometer area of Alwar falls in National Capital Region, and it has developed in terms of industrial areas like Bhiwani, and Bhiwani areas are developed, but there are reasons which it do not develop as compared to Gurgaon or Noida. There are issues of financial assistance and private investment in the region, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Bhiwadi has developed more. Why?
Sir, it is developed due to the industries, basically automobile industries and factories, marble factories. It is developed because of the resources available around.
But Rekha, another thing, and you are a doctor.
Yes, sir.
NCR region as a whole has been adjudged as the most polluted region. It is not Delhi alone. It is the entire NCR which tops the list of the most polluted regions. So, what is the contribution of Bhiwadi? And Bhiwadi is the topmost city. So, what exactly is the problem with Bhiwadi that it is emerged as the worst polluted city, I would say?
So, there are multiple plants in Bhiwadi which cause huge emissions and leads to air pollution, and there are the density of population is high, residential area is also there, and traffic congestion is a very big problem there, sir.
So, Rekha, tell me, this 3X variant, now people are talking about the fourth wave. Now, do you think that with the kind of complacency that we all are going through or passing through, can be detrimental, just like the way we became complacent during the second wave? Because even the medical fraternity, time and again, instead of warning, they are saying no, nothing to worry. Now, why this shift? After the second wave, before the third wave, everyone used to say go out only when needed. So why is medical fraternity? They are not concerned with the economic situation of the country also. At least they should give the correct guideline to the people. What do you have to say?
Sir, I like to differ a bit. Medical fraternity has been conducting sero surveys and guiding, and the guidelines are also there to wear mask, especially in crowded places, although it had made mandatory, but there is a change in the people's attitude also. Now they have accepted mask as their habit also. Second reason is that in the sero survey reports, it is found that around 80% of the population has developed herd immunity, which has provided immunity to the further infection. And third reason is that the coming variant is, the research has shown that it is more transmissible, but the severity will be less.
Okay. All right. Now, you're from Rajasthan. Rajasthan has lately brought in the old pension scheme back into the state. Now, there are many critiques who say that this will destroy the financial situation of the state and may result in something like what happened in Sri Lanka. Now, one is from the employee's point of view, they would obviously be happy. But tell me from the state's point of view and from the nationalistic point of view, where the old pension schemes have been totally removed, how do you see this in the interest of the country?
Sir, when we talk about Rajasthan per se, in terms of pension schemes, both the schemes, I mean before 2005, employees are getting benefits of old pension scheme, and after that of new pension scheme, so the financial burden on Rajasthan government was more, and they calculated that while shifting to the old pension scheme, the government burden and the revenue model can be improved. But yes, sir, having said that, the step can cause a chain reaction where multiple states can go to the same line. It should be seen on case to case basis which state is comfortable according to their state revenue model, sir.
Okay. Mr. Sumesh.
Thank you, sir.
When do you think India will be able to achieve its target of reaching $5 trillion economy?
Sir, looking at the growth and the development, I hope very soon, sir.
Maybe 5 years, 2 years, 10 years approximately?
Sir, it is difficult to estimate the years, but very soon, sir.
Okay. Can you tell about the economic impact of Ukraine-Russia war on India?
So there are multiple impacts of economic impact on India. One is inflation is rising. Currently it is 6.9%. And second is the import dependency, and we need to diversify our imports, and it is a problem. Third is that, sir, the medical students who came from there, a proper policy and proper rehabilitation needs to be done so that they can feel safe, sir.
Okay, Rekha, I would like to know that why you are so keen to join civil services.
Sir, during my college days, I get to know about this service from my seniors, and I found it a very good career opportunity where I can grow personally and professionally. It provides good career, swifter career progression, and I want to join the service for the same, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rekha, you were born in Rajasthan and your education is mainly from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what difference do you see in the condition of women in Delhi and Rajasthan? One or two?
Sir, one difference is safety of women. Like the issues of eve teasing and safety in streets is better in Rajasthan. And second, sir, the issues of child marriage and female ferticide are more concerned with Rajasthan when we talk about women, not in Delhi.
So if I ask you to do something, one action, which action would you take for women of Delhi and women of Rajasthan? One each to improve their condition or whatever issue you would like to highlight. Just one action for betterment of.
So one action for each of these states?
No, one for Delhi and one for Rajasthan.
So for Delhi, I will like to make the streets and the roads very safe for women.
Okay, good.
By adding cameras, street lights. And in Rajasthan, also it is already going in Nagaur. I want to increase the practice in all over Rajasthan, whereby the women, the couple, when they get married during the fairas, they take oath. They will not kill their girl child.
Okay. Now, given the opportunity, which one thing you would like to change about the Indian health system?
Sir, one thing I like to add, not change, is technology. Telemedicine is very good practice which can reach to the corners of the country, sir.
Okay. Now, Rekha, in India, we have a acute shortage of doctors, qualified doctors. About thousands of students and boys and girls, they go to different parts of the world, including Ukraine. There were more than 20,000 students. So, and despite that, we are running shortage of doctors as per WHO standards. You will agree. So, why can't we increase the in-house, medical education in our country itself? What is the basically coming in the way of creating adequate medical education infrastructure? Where do you find lies the this problem?
Sir, for increasing the number of seat and medical infrastructure, one thing, we need a lot of land for hospital structure and the college structure. And second is, if there is a college, we want to increase the seats in that, but hospital attachment is very necessary, because clinical exposure is something which builds the foundation of becoming a doctor.
That means you want to say that there is a huge capital involved.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see any role of private? Because if you allow it for private people, then a lot of people can make investment. They are making investments. If it is a profitable kind of commercial activity, then a lot of people can come forward. They are investing in industry. They are investing in so many other things.
Yes, sir. It is a very noble step, and definitely private player will add to the capital requirement and finance the structure, sir.
Okay. Now, in what way the climate change is affecting human health? Are there any indicators or any studies which link climate change to human health?
Yes, sir. There are multiple reasons when climate change affect human health directly. One is, sir, increasing heat waves, which causes dehydration and loo. Second is, when there is climate change and there is depletion of ozone, then it causes penetration of UV rays, which cause skin cancer and other skin problems. And also, sir, with the increase in vulnerability of migration due to climate, the health of the people get affected due to their existing structure is changed completely.
Okay, good. So my last question, Rekha, does judicial independence means independence from accountability? What are the checks and balances available in judicial administration of the country?
Sir, judicial independence is basically to make the judiciary and their decision free from bias, and they can take judiciary decision without any bias. And the checks and balances are the salaries charged from Consolidated Fund of India, and so there is roster system where whereby a judge cannot hear the case in which he or she is directly involved. So there are multiple checks and balances which.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Rekha, it's an advantage for me to understand the various medico-legal aspects pertaining to administration, and also which you are in a better position to tell us. I would like to understand from you, after the lockdown and the pandemic, certain heads of crime saw an increase because of the lockdown. Can you tell me which heads of crime increased and why?
So one crime which definitely increases domestic violence, the rise of domestic violence cases.
Very correct.
And second is, sir, suicide by taking acids in home. So suicide attacks are increased, sir.
You have given a very satisfactory response, but tell me why, and tell me why did this happen? Normally one would expect that during the course of lockdown, people are together, the husband and wife are together, the parents and children are together. These should not normally have happened. Why did they happen?
So there are multiple factors to it. First is the women get overburdened, and because all of the family members are there and she has to take care of each one of them. Second, the internal differences between the family get flared up when they live together. And thirdly, there were multiple apprehension, uncertainties, and anxiety issues which get spill over on the women of the family. So the rise of cases in domestic violence was there, sir.
But Dr. Rekha, I would presume that when the parents and the children are together, or the husband and wife are together, that should have acted as a shock absorber rather than as a shock creator. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a shock creator rather than being a shock absorber. How did this horrible turn of events happen?
Yes, sir, it is very fortunate because family is a very supportive role model in individual's life, and we get huge satisfaction and happiness when we live with our family. But there are some differences and some disparity in terms of number of work overburden, and some cultural not cultural, some differences which are like generation gap get easily highlighted in the family setup. So these led to
My second
cases.
question, Dr. Rekha, is on another subject. Postmortem reports in cases of murders, very sensitive murders, in 80% of the cases, the doctors say cause of death could not be ascertained, viscera preserved. I, as a police officer, have felt that this is a way to keep mum and not to commit yourself on paper. How can it happen that in 80% of the cases, a doctor is a professional, he's supposed to commit himself in writing? How can he say cause of death could not be ascertained, viscera preserved, whereas the Panchayatnama clearly says that there are blunt injuries on the head and he probably died because of the injuries of blunt object on the head? If an illiterate person can commit himself, why do the doctors not commit and do not commit themselves in writing and are hesitant to say what was the cause of death?
Sir, when the Panchanama is filed and doctors write that cause of death is not certain, there are multiple reasons for it. One is that there are multiple injuries, so one reason cannot be pointed out, and second, the patient the time of patient when the injury has happened and when he visit the hospital, there is a huge lag which cause many complications. And third, there are some malpractices also going on in the fraternity where people escape it by saying this, sir.
Okay, I understand what you have said and what you have left unsaid. I have a very clear idea, and I agree with whatever you have said and left unsaid. Now coming to the third problem. In Rajasthan, a very tragic incident took place. A lady doctor committed suicide for no fault of hers. An FIR was lodged for the alleged botched-up surgical intervention. Are you aware that there are certain safeguards given by the Honorable Supreme Court and the government in lodging FIRs in respect of nursing homes and doctors? Are you aware of the safeguards?
Yes, sir.
What are the safeguards? Enlighten us, please.
Sir, a doctor in her or his capacity, when cannot treat leads to a death of a patient, then multiple factors are taken care, and if any malpractice is not detected, then the doctor is immune and he or she cannot be blamed directly.
No
for the
legal
incident.
action shall follow if there is no negligence or malafide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, certificate. Now my last question to you. During women's security, after the 𝐁𝐵𝐴 case,
Yes.
very many amendments were made, primarily in the three statutes, the CRPC, the Evidence Act and the Indian Penal Code. There were detailed guidelines known as the 𝐁𝐵𝐴 guidelines given by the Honorable Supreme Court. You are a lady. You have seen the security scenario in Delhi and Rajasthan. Do you think that after 𝐁𝐵𝐴, the security scenario has in any way improved? Is status quo, or it continues to be as bad as it was then? Feel free to give what you feel is right.
Sir, certainly there are improvement in terms of certain pockets were there where street light were not present. So there are street lights. Secondly, public transport have provided many safety features for women in Delhi. The buses have a alarm button, and these all our facilities are given. But yes, sir, much improvement is still needed, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So if it is made compulsory by, say, Rajasthan government, then it is a good thing. Not imposing, but it is supposed like NCC was once compulsory. So Bharat, the Scouts and Guides are made compulsory. Scouts and Guides, it is good because in Rajasthan I am aware that there is a good movement there.
Yes, sir, there is very good movement of Bharat Scouts and Guide in Rajasthan.
I want to know your personal view if it is made compulsory. What do you think about it?
Sir, I feel it should come from the student.
Student itself.
Yes, sir.
Means public opinion created, should not be imposed. That is what you mean.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell me, you come from Alwar. It is famous for so many things, and chairman has also asked questions on Alwar. Tell me that, the Sariska Forest Reserve, such a good reserve, Maharaja was there, and then the shooting was less, shooting of the tigers. Suddenly 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, we noticed that Sansar Chand case, you must have heard, where all the tigers were killed. Now Forest Department, Government of India has introduced forests again there. So what is the present status there in the forest? Because it is directly environmental related, flora, fauna, growth of tigers has been reintroduced.
Yes.
What do you think the future of the tiger reserve? I'm asking because you belong to that district.
Yes, sir. Sir, Sariska Tiger Reserve, though once a time there was no tiger was found, but after the relocation project the tiger was relocated from Ranthambore to Sariska, there is growth in number of tigers presently, and with multiple acts and policies and due diligence made by the Forest Department, it has a bright future, sir.
It has a bright future. You feel so?
Yes,
because
sir.
that is your place. Okay. Can I ask you some international questions now?
Yes, sir.
Because you might be asked. Now we noticed that in the last 1 month, Pakistan Prime Minister, who has since exited, Imran Khan, was praising India's foreign policy, that nobody can dare accuse India, nobody has got this strength, the Western powers, as they target Pakistan, as they blame Pakistan. And India, because it looks after India's own interests, the Government of India, means all praise, in brief, all praise for India. But then again we find that Sri Lanka and Pakistan has never been good to India, as pro-China. Again our another neighbor Sri Lanka, in the very recent past we have seen, was in the influence of China economically and otherwise, but was asking India, save us. The people are asking, save us. Nobody is asking China for help. Not did Pakistan or they are all praising there. Why do you think so? India has suddenly become stronger. Why is that everybody is asking that India is a good country, foreign policy is good? What is your personal thought on this? You have understood my question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in case of Pakistan, the Prime Minister is somehow using by praising India in his political benefit, and we should take it with a pinch of salt that there are changes in changing government in Pakistan, and we are ready for the further talks with Pakistan. And when it comes to Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka is looking us for humanitarian assistance and some relief because Sri Lanka is going through economic crisis. Both the countries look India with hope because we have a history of helping our neighbors and we don't take advantage of the vulnerabilities of our neighbor, and it is a proud moment for us, sir.
So therefore you, according to your assessment, that India is stronger or people can look for help,
yes,
other than the vaccines 2 years ago when they were asking for vaccines. So for these things also justify. Okay, wonderful. Last question to you, just to check about, because it's very topical and terror not been in the news recently. Have you heard of the name of Dr. Zakir Naik? He is a doctor too, a medical doctor. Have you heard of them?
Sir, I have heard Dr. Zakir Khan College, but
No,
I have
Zakir
not.
Naik.
No, sir, I have not heard about him.
Oh, that's all right. Chairman sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, Rekha, we have asked quite a few questions. last question that we would like to ask you would be from a topic of which you will choose.
Sir, since I like my hobbies very much and they are very close to my heart.
Tell me which
I
hobby are you wanting to discuss?
Sir, both of them are very dear to me, sir.
Okay. So let us take stitching clothes.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, in the textile sector, a country like Bangladesh has outsmarted many countries, including India. Now, you will find the clothes stitched in Bangladesh, in all the Western countries.
Yes.
Now, what is the reason of the success story of Bangladesh? Can you throw some light on that?
Sir, after partition of East Pakistan, most of the jute producing area goes to Bangladesh, which is the backbone of the textile sector in Bangladesh. Second reason is that the manufacturing industry and the labor laws are in consonance with the textile policy of Bangladesh, and the export basket has huge amount of jute and the textile products from that goes in around the world from Bangladesh. So this is the factors of growth of textile sector in Bangladesh, sir.
So thank you, Rekha.